Welcome back, everybody. We're joined now by Dan Duquette, the Orioles Executive Vice President of Baseball Operations. So it's another day, another roster move. Chen's being brought back to pitch tonight. How did you make room on the roster for him?
Well, when bringing back Chen, we're sending out T.J. McFarland. T.J. did a nice job yesterday helping us get that win in Boston, and he's done a nice job coming to the club and going back to fourth to AAA. And I really like the way that our bench has really strengthened the team. We've got the platoon advantage late in the game with the right-handed hitters with Ryan Holt and Steve Pearce. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, with the left-handed hitters, now we've got Parmalee up and David Lowe's in the lineup. So everybody's getting their at-bats and contributing.
All right, so right now you have 11 pitchers active, 6 in the bullpen, and with Chen back, the 5 starters. 14 position players, which means a 5-man bench. Now, that's a nice luxury to have, but how long can you go with a 5-man bench and a short bullpen?
Well, we'll see how well the starting pitchers do, right?
Put it on Chen, huh?
Well, we've been able to manage it pretty effectively. I think Buck does a great job with the bench, and our pitchers have done a nice job. They've done a nice job scheduling the work, and of course we got to keep our pitchers healthy, so we got to keep an eye on it day to day.
You know, I love all the guys that we've had at second base. You know, Steve Pearce has done a pretty good job. So has Flaherty. Even Paredes has done a pretty good job. Everybody we put out there has contributed. But I still miss Jonathan Schoop.
Oh.
What's happening with our guy? We got to get him back here soon.
Well, I love Jonathan Schoop, and he's going to play tonight down in Bowie. I think he's got one more game, and then he'll rest, and then he should be ready to be activated the first of the week. I guess if we really needed him, he could be active on Sunday, but we'd probably wait till the first of the week. He should be ready to come back. He's hit a couple of home runs at Bowie, and he's looking pretty good.
You know, when you look at Jonathan, that's a pending roster move, and really now you've set yourself up for another pending roster move since you're playing short in the bullpen, at least for tonight. This is becoming a more and more difficult puzzle to put together as you try to get back to what you perceive as the best 25-man roster. I mean, 2 players off tonight's active roster may not be here by Monday.
Well, I don't really focus on the players going the other way. I just try to have as strong a team as we can have. And the good news is that these are all qualified major league players. I mean, we have guys on the bench because they can do something. They can hit, or they can go in and play defense, or some of them can do both. And we just have to find the right balance, and we've been able to do that effectively. It's a little bit more challenging now in that we don't have players that have options on the roster.
Right.
But we just bought a little time with the roster move today, and hopefully we'll have the right mix when we need it tomorrow. I mean, who knows? We might get rained out tomorrow. I mean, as Weaver said,
that might give you a little break.
Have your strongest roster today and worry about tomorrow, and that's kind of how we're managing things day to day.
Dan, I mean, there must be a lot going through your mind and everything. The process of having to try to figure out which guy are we going to keep, which guy are we going to let go. What goes through your mind? Because, not many of the media really know because there's no answers for them really. But it must be a process that is awfully stressful when you're trying to figure it out.
Well, it's difficult to figure out when you have a lot of good players. When you don't have a lot of good players, it's not so hard. But these are all qualified major leaguers, and yet we try to wrestle with every decision, look at it objectively from a scouting perspective, and then subjectively from the management's perspective, and then take a look at exactly how the player can help us win tonight's game. And we have a process here that we're disciplined and we stick to, and that keeps us down the straight and narrow. It keeps us in the middle of the road and keeps some good players on the field, and we have a competitive team, or as competitive a team as we can have every night.
Are there any thoughts that you may have to make a deal somewhere here pretty soon in order to keep a guy, or really, if you're going to lose him, at least get something in turn for him?
Well, we've designated a few guys to make a deal. I do like the pitcher we got, Gunkel, back for the Diaza trade from the Red Sox. He's pitched really well in Double-A. We picked up a player in the minor leagues, Ricardo Rodriguez, yesterday from Houston. He's got an excellent record in AAA, and these are the kind of deals that we make along the way. We picked up Steve Pearce that way. We picked up Jimmy Paredes that way. And we're constantly working to stock our farm system. And I like the couple of pitching deals that we made to help the club in the future.
All right, now Adam Jones is not in the lineup again tonight, so he's missing his 8th game in the Orioles' last 10 games. Are you getting close to having to make a decision? Now, I know Adam did work out today. He was out with Wayne Kirby working on the arm. Richie Mancells is there, so you got to get past Richie as well. But there's a move that might be able to buy you a little time. Tough when it's your best player. You want your best player back in the lineup. But where are you on when you might, if at all, DL Adam, or just say, hey, he's going to be back Monday, so we'll just ride it out?
Well, we've been taking that day to day. As you can see, Adam's been throwing a little bit each day. He's got the bruise on his shoulder, which is healing slowly but surely. But he's got to get to the point where he can throw and use that arm as an asset. And I think we're getting down to decision time here in the next day or so.
You know, talking about the ball club as it is, we've seen the starting pitching struggle a little bit, although the offense is playing very well and picking them up now. A couple weeks ago, it was the pitchers picking up the offense. But are there any thoughts of any kind of changes there? Maybe Gausman or somebody that might get this opportunity?
Well, Kevin Gausman pitched really well up in Toronto. He helped us win the game there last week. And I'm sure we'll have some opportunity to see him here. If, particularly the way his breaking ball is coming around. If he can get his breaking ball consistent, he can be a winner up here, and that's what he's working on in the minors. And we like Kevin Gausman as a long-term starter on this team, and that really depends upon how he develops at AAA.
All right, so Dan, talking about how difficult it is to get players back on the roster because players have to go. Prior to the game tonight, here's Buck Showalter on the topic.
We're dealing with good players.
Right.
That's a good thing. Bad thing is, at the end of today, because it should be critiqued, you're going to have people have something to contemplate. Why this? Why not that? Why that? Why not this? So you got 5 or 6 guys that you can make a case for, and I have. So I don't want to lose any of them. We're hoping that they have this new rule about 26-man club. Really, 27 would help. But we knew this day was coming, and it's a good thing. But the injuries haven't allowed us to get to this day. And I'm not ready to throw a blanket on Adam yet, just for it to be a convenient move. He's too valuable.
All right, so the moral is, Dan, you've done too good of a job. You brought in too many players.
I don't know about that, but these are all qualified Major League players, so we got to try to keep as many of the players here and active and contributing to the team, and that's really what we did tonight when we sent TJ down. We just bought a little time.
All right, well, Dan, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Can't wait to see what the team looks like tomorrow, and then Sunday, and then Monday. A lot of moving parts here. Appreciate the visit.